The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. July of 1969 was a famous time in global history. You may think of it in the context of man landing on the moon, but at the same time, a world-renowned racing circuit cut the ribbon and started a legacy of great racing. Formerly known as the A1 Ring, this famous circuit in Austria is a stop on the F1, DTM, TCR, and many motorcycle racing calendars. The Red Bull Ring is the place, and the Red Sox Racing League is the race. Welcome everyone tonight to PTR TV for tonight's coverage of Race 6 in today's Winter Season 23 campaign right here on the channel, and we are ready and raring to bring it to you. Per usual, in the booth, it's going to be myself, Corey Silva. We'll be giving you all of the calls here this evening, and we'll be getting ready for the night's festivities. And do want to apologize for last week because we did have our issues last week, but confident those have been since taken care of here. So as we just wait for the graphics package to pop up again, just want to let everyone know what is going on. We did last week have our race at Magny-Cours, which it is a newer track on the iRacing service, and sometimes that does kind of play havoc with certain situations. So we did hours upon hours of stress testing to make sure that everything, all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. So should be a good night here on the evening. But currently qualifying is underway right now. And we'll bring some information on the screen for you. You can see on track right now we have some of these guys turning their qualifying laps. Our GT3s turning their qualifying laps right now. Or excuse me, our BMWs, our GT3s did already turn their lap, so that is what they are taking care of right now. And Ryan Robertson on that front row right now with that lap time 1:18.44, has about 3/10 in the bank on Mitch Heller, so he's going to do what he can to ensure that he can keep that pole, because we do know how important it is to have that pole position. It's come into fruition many a time over the course of these races, where getting the pole does allow you to pull away with that advantage that you most certainly need. So I'll see what happens there. But other drivers on track right now, we have Mitch Heller himself, Mark Wilson on track as well. So these guys doing the best they can and getting some laps in here at the Red Bull Ring. Do have the point standings. I made a graphic here. Proud of myself. Got something done here on the back end. You can see a graphic here with the standings here. Going into tonight's race, Ryan Robertson up by the 12 points over Mitch Heller. You can see with the 4 wins on the season, 5 wins there in GTP. And then Troy Sharon has the exact same gap in the second class in the GTDs over Reed Rundle. We do have I'm pretty sure we had one of our Aldo Secklin. I thought he was actually going to race here tonight, but now I don't see him, so not quite sure what that's going to be. But in that class, It's a 3-second buffer that Troy Sharon does enjoy over second place, so we'll see how that does continue, and I do look forward to continuing the trend of making those graphics, so we'll see what happens there. But for some reason my ticker's not turning off here, so we're just on a streak where nothing can solidly go right for us here, but we'll make do with what we got. But we're in our cool down period right now. It doesn't look like looks like we have a couple guys on track. Les Turner is still on circuit right now, so he is trying to turn those lap times. Our weather conditions here tonight from Austria, 77 in the air with the 82-degree track temp, 56% humidity, so kind of iRacing default weather, as we do like to say. And one other piece of information that we do have the ability to share would actually be the 2023 Spring Series for the Red Sox Racing League. I do have that schedule as well. You can see we'll be starting on March 16th at Sebring with VIR. The new version of VIR, Barcelona, Silverstone, Long Beach, and Twin Ring Motegi, a track that doesn't get too much love. So we'll be heading there. So if you are interested in joining the series, of course, you can put a message in chat. You can reach out to the Red Sox Racing League on social media, or of course you can go right ahead and look them up directly on their Facebook page. So as we do kind of conclude, want to give everybody again a thanks and a shout out for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and take care of that for us, and hit those couple buttons. Definitely does facilitate things and help us with our channel growth that we are fighting so hard for this year. But looks like it's just a couple seconds left, and we will get ready to head down trackside and give you the starting lineup in just a matter of a few moments time. Just waiting for it to click over here. And just a couple seconds here, just kind of counted it down just a little bit too early. I hope you're enjoying the B-roll footage here that is taken by SimTV. Of course, we do have a big affiliation with SimTV, which is where a lot of the assets company as channels like to kind of share assets there as best we can. All right, let's go down trackside and give you the starting lineup. May have to do it in abbreviated fashion, but we will do it nonetheless. On tonight's overall poll, with that lap time of 1 minute 18.439, Ryan Robertson, Mitch Heller on the outside of the front row. Mark Wilson in third, Jason Breifogel from North Carolina in fourth, Todd Marin-Pietri in fifth, Dwayne McCarthy out of Canada in sixth. Lester also the Canadian in seventh, with Dennis Griffin in eighth, and that will conclude our BMWs. A little bit shorter BMW lineup than usual here tonight. Troy Sharon, our points leader and likely our GTD champion, barring some catastrophic events. I just realized that the B-roll footage was still on screen, Corey. All right, let's go back and quickly rush through that. I want to make sure you got to see what I got to see here. And a lot of changes going on, so broadcasts they're going to get better, but you get some, while I kind of get used to my new routines here, some little nuances will come out. But Troy Sharon up there, Andrew Lunsford, Tim Saunders in third, David Berry in fourth, Mark Kudrowski in fifth, Terry Dahl out of Hamburg, New York in sixth. Then we have Zach Kruger in seventh in class, Andrew Humphrey, Bill Pawlucky, Aldo Secklin. I'm not sure if he's gridded or not. He signed up, but I'm not sure if he actually will be here or not. But regardless, Kevin Kyle will conclude the starting lineup here this evening. Of course, we'll start off with our BMWs, they will be leading it down with about the 15-second buffer over second place, or over the second class here. But the pace car has pulled in to turn number 1, or turn to the final turn here, and heading down our front straightaway here at Red Bull Ring. So make sure you enjoy the evening and get ready for a night full of racing, because we are ready for it. Getting ready for Barney to wave that green flag. Here we are, racing at the Red Bull Ring. Into Lauda curve, turn number 1. We'll see if all these guys get through nice and smooth. Ryan Robertson does pull out to a sizable lead of about 0.8 of a second off the get-go there. Mitch Heller is going to have a lot of work to do if he is going to get there and make something happen. But let's go ahead and check in our GTD class. They are getting their green flag waved here. Troy Sharon in the Gamers Nexus Mercedes, he's going to get off into turn number 1 with a relative ease and have that good lead over Andrew Lunsford. Tim Saunders, he's had some good runs in that his Ferrari. He's going to go down there into the down the straightaway here. A big long straightaway here at Red Bull Ring, a track that many will be familiar with. It is a track that, of course, being an F1 track, it is known by many casuals, if you want to use that word, as it will be seen in the F1 games. Also, it's in the Gran Turismo, and I believe it's even in the Forza game, so a track that many will have a lot of experience with, which does help with the racing compared to tracks that guys don't know as well. David Berry kicking up some kitty litter there. I believe it was out of 6 here. We head into the technical section here. This is 6 into 7. So we see some tight racing here, and then a little bit of a flick. 7 into 8 sets us up for turn number 9, which is a very wide open exit here, and I'm not quite sure how strict the off-track system here is in iRacing, but it's kind of a downhill right-hander, and it gives you a lot of room to the, it doesn't look like you can use that much, but then you have turn number 10, and that sets you up here for the long front straightaway into the Niki Lauda turn number 1 right-hander heading up the hill. Kind of a similar turn 1 to a kind of an inverse of what you see at Coda with that uphill kind of blind turn 1, but not quite as sharp, and sets us up for a very long straightaway, not quite straight in the sense that it is quite curved, but you will take it completely flat out. And that will take you into the sharpest corner on the track, turn number 3. And again, another modestly sized straightaway from 3 to 4. So that's why I didn't quite get to our keys to the race. But our keys to the race, slipstream a lot of passing zones, and don't run empty. It's kind of, with the tracks we've had this season in the Red Sox Racing League, a lot of the keys to the race do stay same, because there were a lot of fast tracks this season. But as we will quickly just go back to our schedule now that we have a little bit more time, you can see with Sebring, very technical, but some long straightaways. Again, the newly updated Sebring, visually anyways, VIR with the new scan. Barcelona, relatively new track, but pretty much a lot of grade 1 tracks for the in terms of Barcelona and Silverstone, and then Long Beach, a staple. And I will tell you, every time we've tried to cover Long Beach on this channel, something has gone wrong, whether it was a scheduling conflict or whether there was technical issues or something. So really hoping that all the T's are crossed and that nothing comes up upon that race, because I really want to cover the race there down in Southern California on the narrow and famous streets here. Kevin Kyle in the pits here. And Aldo Secklin, I didn't call it out. He did make the race. So good to see Aldo here this evening in the 666. Remember, he did win the first race of this series, but unfortunately was not able to attend the middle races, and that put him out of the championship. So we'll see how that fares for the winter campaign, where we're going to have about 3 weeks off to prepare rather for the spring campaign. This is winter and heading into spring and early summer, again, with our 6-week mini seasons. But as it stands right now in both classes, Ryan Robertson up by 2.7 seconds. Again, was not able to go for the perfect season because last week's race at Magny-Cours, we did have Mitch Heller pull off the checkered flag. So not a victory, not the perfect clean sweep for Ryan Robertson, but he does have enough of a buffer that as long as he finishes really in the top 5, I can't really fathom a possibility of him not getting a championship. And then with Troy Sherrod having not quite the... I'm not going to give Troy Sherrod the benefit of having the same amount of domination as Ryan Robertson, because he has had some competition in his races, but he has managed to fare better in the second stint and, you know, kind of put the races away. I know there was one race Terry Dahl had a good chance to win. There was a race Reed Rundle had a good chance to win, but just was not able to make that happen, as they do have a battle for second in class. Looks like Andrew Lunsford. I think Aldo's trying to get him on the outside, and Lunsford's going to get a little bit loose there. You can see a lot of dirty pavement there that Lunsford's going to go through. That's going to get some slipperiness on his tires there, but Secklin able to complete that pass. We'll see what kind of pace he does have for Troy Sherrod. I could say last time by he was 0.6 of a second faster. I don't expect that this time by, you know, due to the fact he was making a pass, but we'll see what happens. And let's just kind of go back up front. I wanted to get a scope of where we were in terms of lap traffic, GT3 interaction. Well, we've already achieved it, as Ryan Robertson, see, he has already put down many of our GT3 counterparts. Of course, doesn't matter because they're all separate classes, but look at the speed difference on the front straightaway there, as David Berry, the last one that got past there, but the speed difference here is just absolutely catastrophically huge. But the blessing is there's a lot of straightaway, and the kinds of corners that this track presents does make it a lot easier to navigate the traffic. You don't have a lot of track corners that are completely single file. You can kind of wiggle your way through most of these corners in a double file formation if absolutely necessary. But just look at the gap here on the left side of your display, as Robertson kind of getting a little bit wide there. Gap was about 2 seconds, went down to a second very briefly, back up to 1.5. So karma is, I think, David Berry around in the kitty litter. Let's go back quickly and see what happened to him. Let's see, he had, who was that right behind him? That was, I believe it was Zach Kruger. A little NASCAR bump and run there. I don't think that was the intended goal. I think it was incidental, but just really just kind of turned him there. I don't know what led up to that. I mean, I'm sure there was something just Kruger probably just didn't expect when he, or maybe he slowed up and Kruger wasn't ready for it. But either way, worth noting as well that Aldo Secklin has lost some time. Now he's upwards of 4 seconds back of Sharon in class. So you can see there on the long shot, it's Jason Breyfogle, who is trying to get through right here. And Breyfogle hasn't had like a couple, where I think we're on 3, so we're on the first season of BMWs, and then we had 2 seasons of LMPs, but Breyfogle won the last TCR championship, which felt like forever ago at this point. Just hasn't, now that we've kind of switched from kind of just being the GT3 and TCRs, which are more or less in the same category, if you will. Of course, TCRs were a little bit slower, but, you know, they're in the same vein. But now that we've kind of gone to these more supercar style, you know, super fast, high downforce, really send it type cars, hasn't had the same luck. So next season we will be duplicating, as we already saw with the schedule, we will be duplicating this exact combination. So we'll see what happens there, and you may see some more drivers open up to the BMW, and as part of the league. And how it is sanctioned is that I could see Marin Pietri kind of bouncing over those sausage curbs there. New drivers to the league are immediately defaulted to the slower class. So by force, you are not allowed to drive the faster car, which in this case is the BMW. So those drivers who get that season under their belt will be eligible to drive the BMW next season if they are so inclined to. That's at least if I read the rules right. So we'll see if that does change, but I know a lot of guys are waiting for the build because, you know, with iRacing, we are closing in on the March build. I think that's why we have such a gap. I believe, if memory serves, if you're watching this live, we're on week number 11 on iRacing. So we'd have week number 12, and then we have build week, and then I think after that would be the week that we're getting ready to start. So we'll see if there's car changes, physics changes, new releases. We'll see what happens and how that shakes out and affects the Red Sox Racing League in any capacity. But let's look up front because Mitch Heller has found some speed, and that speed has found him nearly to the back bumper of Ryan Robertson. Pull up our lap time graphic on the left side on the screen here. You can see Mitch Heller with an 18.9. And then we'll switch to Ryan Robertson and a 19.9, so a full second faster. Now he's in the slipstream. Full slipstream with these long straightaways should basically mean that Mitch Heller is going to have a realistic chance relatively soon. I think a lockup of the brakes there of Robertson. And that was a topic of contention that I did read in the discords, in the chat that these drivers do share with each other, is that the brakes in this car are so touchy that it is very difficult to be consistent with them, especially as you're getting used to the change in the fuel load and as the dynamics of the car do change. It does cause these drivers to kind of have some braking issues, as Zach Kruger closing in on Mark Kudrowski. See Kudrowski there in that 944 machine. I don't have any details on him, but he's going to make that move on Kruger. They're going to go side by side. And spot will go to Kudrowski, gives himself a top 5 in class. Terry Dahl back there. I haven't talked about him yet in that 8th spot. Not one of his better runs. Remember, he had that fabulous run at the Indy Road Course, so nearly had a shot to the win prior to making a slight faux pas on circuit in the final laps. Kind of going through the lineup. No Reed Rundle here on the evening, unfortunately. Reed Rundle has really stepped it up in the past few races. Nearly had the race won at the Indianapolis Road Course as well, prior to some incidents and kind of mistakes taking him out of it. But seems like he has found his style, found his groove again in these GT3s, and I'm sure he would be looking forward to next season, but unfortunately not here to share the track with us this evening. But here we again watch our battle for the overall lead here, as Ryan Robertson is he's starting to hang on by a feather here as Mitch Heller closes in. Well, Heller did not get off of 10 that time at all and did lose a little bit of time, but if he can get through turn 3 again, oh, that's not going to help. Bouncing over the sausage curbs there will potentially damage the underside of the vehicle, but also slow him down quite significantly. Somebody went grass hopping there through the straightaway in turn 2. The kink, one of the straightaway there, the kink in the straightaway is actually registered as a corner, interestingly enough. So that is actually turn 3, the sharp corner they just passed as they come down the hill into Rausch, turn number 4, if I'm saying that right. I have no Austrian accent to base off of here, but we are working on a lap car. It looks like Les Turner, Batmobile, doing donuts, but you didn't win the race, buddy. So let's go back and see what happened to Les on instant replay. He's running by himself. That's Breifogel in his rear view there, and I think he got some wheel hop there or something. I think that's probably what happened. May have got some wheel hop there I just told you that this car is not the easiest on the brakes, and maybe he saw Breifogel closing in and just tried to send it a little bit deeper into the corner. And unfortunately for Les, he is going to be less some positions right now, falling back to the 6th spot. He does have 4 seconds over Dennis Griffin in 7th. Wayne McCarthy is in 8th. And he is a lap off of the pace within class after already making a pit stop on the evening. So our overall leaders surpassing the number 81 of Bill Paulucky. And this is the closest Heller has been as he goes into what I believe is turn 4. Yes, it is turn 4. Now this is probably a part of the track where he might be able to gain some time. It's slow enough that the aero wash is not as catastrophic as it is on some corners, but that's not going to help us. He goes sailing through the kitty litter, just going a little bit too wide, goes from 4/10 to 7/10. That's not what he's going to need, but as long as he could stay within range, you know, the ever imminent pit stop coming up in the near future, as I think Robertson's going to get slowed up here in a very difficult part of the track by Terry Dahl, and Mitch Heller, he's going to go off, and that's pretty much going to seal the deal for Robertson there. For Robertson, pardon. Let's go back on replay, see what happened. That was Terry Dahl that kind of got put in a bad position there. Let's go and change the angle if we can, because that angle did not really do us any justice. We'll try to get like a blimp cam if we can of Terry Dahl, kind of focusing on him again. I don't think he did anything wrong knowing his driving style. I think he just got put in a really bad position, and 2 hungry leaders, you know. Leader was going up there, and just get one more look at that. So the trees were not helping us there. And the trees still aren't helping us. Yeah, the TV angles that I have to work with here. Contact there with the 69 of Humphrey, as they were basically trying to slalom around the lap traffic there. I don't want to keep calling it lap traffic, as my NASCAR background shows, but slaloming through the traffic there and made some contact. That sent Heller around, so now he's relinquished about 9 seconds he lost in that spin. So now he's basically just hanging on for second now, or maybe waiting for a mistake. Mark Wilson in third. Meanwhile, in GTD, Troy Sharon has been enjoying a lead that's been staying essentially in the 3-second range, usually 3 to 3.5 seconds on average. It's gone down a little bit to 3 seconds flat. Aldo Secklin doing the best he can, but you can see from his rear view that he does have Robertson and in his rear, so he will try to get by as safely as he can. And that will be rather anticlimactic, but I thought Aldo was going to have a little bit more to play with, and I thought he was going to close in on Troy Sharon, but Troy is just doing what he needs to do to stay up front and maintaining that pace, making minimal mistakes. Robertson's going to get by, and luckily for me, he's going to get by at a good point on the track, and not really going to lose any time. It lost about 0.3 of a second, but could have been a lot worse. It's like Dennis Griffin just exiting the pits here in the 23. So Les Turner did pit directly after his pit stop, or rather after his spin. So he is, I don't want to say on fresh tires because I don't think he took tires, but he's on a full fuel load, which we are past the halfway point. So I'd have to safely say that he will be able to make it to the end of the race. And just for the, I didn't get confirmation whether I'm supposed to say this or not, but even if I don't get told I'm not supposed to, I have been saying it because I don't think it hurts anything to say it. But I want to give a special shout out to Enidine, your trusted source for differentiated products for industrial, aerospace, defense, rail, and transportation end markets for over 50 years. Enidine offers a wide range of hydraulic dampers, elastomeric bumpers, and vibration isolation products to meet all your simulation needs. You can contact Enidine at www.enidine.com. See on the front bumper and rear quarter panel there of Terry Dahl's machine. Did not have my best ad read there, so do apologize for that, but Enidine has been facilitative with some of the broadcasts from what I've been told, and is where Terry Dahl spends a lot of his time during the week in his real life world outside of Sim World, so just giving a shout out to there, and I think we will have more ad reads next season based on what I've been preliminarily told, as they try to get some more sponsorship exposure for the series, because this series has been really taking off. I mean, I've been covering these guys for, I think, consecutively, probably pushing early 2022. So I've been covering about a year and a half, and then late 2018 covered, or 2019, I believe, covered them back then as well. And series has always kind of held around 18 to 23 cars for the most part, but we tapped out at 30 plus cars for a few races this season. The format of this series is just one that really is a good time. So we may have a battle shaping up with Lunsford and Saunders for the second position in GT3. The 35-minute races are nice and short, which a lot of people with busy schedules, you know, that works for them. Short races, but they're not short. They're exciting races, consolidated races. You're still getting your class interactions. You're still getting a pit stop. You're still getting strategy. You're still getting, you know, runs where you do have to keep the rear tires on it on some circuits. So you're getting everything you really could ask for out of a sim race in just over a half hour of your time, you know, not accounting for practice and qualifying. So a league that, for that reason, I love covering it, because it gives you everything you need in, you know, a short, you know, consolidated window. But as a driver, I know the drivers love it, and the same 80% core drivers have been here since 2018. I recognize so many of these names, but we are getting new drivers in. So if you are interested, again, check them out on Facebook, iRacing Leagues. You can look them up directly, or even reach out to PTR TV and I can get you in touch with who you want to get in touch with. So really looking forward to seeing this league continue to grow in future seasons and for the foreseeable future. And until we hear otherwise, action will be right here on PTR TV. As we look forward to kind of upping the ante with our broadcasts and unleashing some new features. So you know, some growing pains going through that process, but the end result should be more than worth it. So all that ad read aside, Ryan Robertson has come to the pits. Mitch Heller directly behind him. We'll finally get to unleash without any issues our pit stop graphic, which I'm very proud of. So you can see here, there's only a couple decimal points as opposed to 10 million like the first time I implemented it. 10.6 seconds in the pit lane time. So that is cone to cone, including the stop, 29 seconds. Now we'll compare that to Mitch Heller, and he is having a significantly longer pit stop, along with it's Breifogel behind him, and I believe Todd Marin-Pietri. I'm going to go on a limb and say Mitch Heller had a pit speeding penalty by the fact that that stop is that long. So it just went from bad to worse, which I know this was a topic in some chats where some family of Mitch Heller says I'm a little bit hard on him sometimes. But he actually had to come to my defense and say, Corey's not hard on me, he just tells the truth. And Mitch Heller is one of the fastest drivers I've seen, but he's mistake prone, whether it be an on-track incident or sometimes a pit incident. So he's still in the pits. 1 minute 19, 1 minute 20. So maybe there was some damage. Maybe I'd have to imagine there was a speeding penalty. But when Mitch Heller is on, he is one to be reckoned with. That is for sure. Dennis Griffin in the pits. And we just saw, I believe it was Marin-Pietri And Mark Wilson, actually that's who that was. Mark Wilson will give up the preliminary lead, give it back to Ryan Robertson. So now with Mitch Heller having that abysmal stop, I think second place is going to cycle out to Todd Marin-Pietri, who is now under extreme fire from Jason Breifogel, who I just talked about him, you know, not having the best of runs in this car. But here he is just taking advantage of situations and trying to get himself onto the podium. Actually, let me just double check with Mark Wilson here. I want to see where Mark Wilson's going to shake out. It looks like Mark Wilson's actually going to shake out in second. So push that back by one spot. So Mark Wilson will be in second by 18 seconds behind the race leader. Todd Marin-Pietri in third. Then Jason Breifogel, Les Turner, and then Mitch Heller will be sixth. Aldo Secklin, no, I'm just watching so aggressively. I'm so watching everything else and just completely missed what's going on in GT3. So let's go back and just reassess where we stand with GT3 right now. All right, the GTD class. Troy Sharon has already pit, which is why he's back to 8th in class right now. Zach Kruger, he is in 7th. And he pit many laps ago, so I'm not quite sure how he took the lead, how he got in front of Troy Sharon. But he is by about 3 seconds, so not sure how that worked out, but it worked out nonetheless. So we'll be waiting for Aldo Secklin to come in here as we kind of have some of our latest pit stops I think I've ever seen in this series here. Coming down to 8 minutes rather in the race. And still waiting on about half the field in GTD class to come into the attention of their pits. Wayne McCarthy, one of the last BMWs to come in. Here comes Terry Dahl coming to the attention of his crew. Just gotta double check something there. Well, all right, note to self, that's something I gotta fix there. But all right, here comes David Berry to the attention of his crew. Robertson up by 25 seconds. Aldo Secklin still waiting on him to pit. And interestingly enough, Zach Kruger is ahead. Now, there must have been something. Again, we were so focused on, I was just focused on kind of advertising for the league in all honesty. Something happened to Troy Sharon that has thrown him behind. Now, he pitted so Terry Dahl just in front of him just came out of the pits, and he is Terry Dahl just exits. So Terry Dahl is on the same strategy as Troy Sharon. Now, I think he should get by on pace, but as it stands right now, Zach Kruger is in a position to win this race because, or it's going to be very close. Aldo Secklin now in the pits. So we'll see how it all shakes out. A lot of shaking and baking there as everybody gets out of the pits. Now let's see where everything shakes out here in terms of where everyone is. Aldo Secklin back on track. Sim Saunders on track. Kadrowski. Yeah, so something happened to Troy Sharon, and I'm looking at his statistics, and nothing stands out to me as being wrong per se. So obviously there must have been some kind of off-track incident or something that we didn't catch. That took Troy Sharon out. Now with that having to go back to the point standings here, we'll pull those on screen once more. He has 12 points over Reed Rundle, so the best part for him is that Reed Rundle's not here. And because of how the points are structured now, this race is not for lack of better terminology. It's not droppable. So he's going to have to win this race. Even if he doesn't win the race, second place is not here. And this race is not dropped. So basically, no matter what happens, essentially, Trey Sharon is going to be the champion in the class. So he will not have to worry about that. Just getting ready for about a few laps left to go here this evening at Red Bull Ring for the Red Sox Racing League. Ryan Robertson, he just kind of going back to you know, things we've talked about in many races, where he will have a good size lead, or he'll be in a good battle rather. And then something happens that basically cements the race for him. And now today it was Mitch Heller, not so much out of his control, just kind of that situation with the lapper, then ultimately being super cemented by the fact that he ended up having that pit road issue. But once that happens, Robertson's just able to go and just drive off into the proverbial moonset. And once he does that, you know, nobody is going to do anything, because he knows he does not have to go 100%. He knows that he doesn't need to go ahead and do anything crazy, because the race is going to ultimately be his. So he can just go ahead and make sure that he keeps the car on track, doesn't do anything dangerous, just goes ahead and puts it home for a finish. Worth noting that there is a potential battle still shaping up between Bri Fogel and Marin Pietri. Troy Sharon trying to gain some time. Again, I really wish that I knew what happened to Troy, and I really apologize for not having that on screen. You know, sometimes when you get into a spiel, you get into a spiel, so didn't quite see that. But Aldo Secklin certainly is going to take advantage of that, because he is up by 9 seconds over Tim Saunders, and Troy Sharon just trying to recoup whatever spots he can. I don't think he'll be able to get any more in what we estimate to be about 2 laps left in tonight's race. So Robertson up by 30 seconds, and we'll see what happens. You can see he still makes mistakes. Again, the brakes on this car have been discussed, not very easy to maintain. So he's still susceptible to mistakes just like anybody else is. So, but luckily he has the gap where he can make a mistake, he can spin out, and probably still have a 10-second lead after it. Though he probably does not want to test that logic out too closely. Yeah, the battle for what is now second and third, as Wilson's dropped back to 4. So second and third is Marin Pietri and Bri Fogel. And Bri Fogel, he has a fighting chance to get at it, but let's take a look at where we stand here. It's going to be right on the money. If we get, I think we're going to be on 1 to go this time. I didn't quite catch Barney. Yep, 1 to go. So this should, I'm 99% sure it's the white flag. It came out very late because we hit the stripe at basically the exact lap time we'd be looking for. But we'll take it as the last lap, and we'll see if the graphics do update to confirm it for us. But again, Robertson skidding the tires there, locking him up in 3. So even though he's up by 27 seconds, he's not backing down here. Again, just watching that battle with Bri Fogel, best battle on the track. And I think Bri Fogel might have a shot at it. into 3 using the slipstream. He's about 4/10 back. He must not have got off of the corner very well, because he dropped back by about 2-3 tenths. He's going to really have to send it on the binders here. Hope for a mistake from Aaron Pietri, who did not make it. So I don't know if that battle is going to come to fruition, but... And then Aldo Secklin, he is up by 12 seconds, so he is just cruising and trying to finish the lap out here. But that's also exactly what Ryan Robertson is doing, where a season of domination. He's going to end up going 5 for 6 on the season with only 1 faux pas at Magny-Cours. But he's going to come off the corner, and Ryan Robertson, in dominating fashion, is your BMW Hybrid GTP champion for the Red Sox Racing League winter campaign. Full congratulations go to him. And then Aldo Secklin, he is coming through the final couple set of quarters here at Red Bull. Actually, no, he's coming through 5 here, so he has probably about 30 or so seconds left. And again, Aldo Secklin, only 2 starts in the season, if memory serves, in both of those starts, barring any catastrophic failures here in the last couple corners, will have ended up in victory. So for you GT3 fans, hope that Aldo Secklin does not have the ability to run a full season, because if he does, you know, it's going to be a rough ride, but it'll be a good ride for us to watch here in the booth, and be interesting to see if he could handle Troy Sharon over the course of a full season. But in the short term, he's going to come off of turn 10, and then Aldo Secklin is going to win tonight's race for the GT class. Congratulations to the 666. A great racing here tonight here at the Red Bull Ring for the final race of the winter campaign for the Red Sox Racing League. So let's quickly go through and give you the final rundown and then start our post-race show. Ryan Robertson with that win by 30 seconds over Aaron Pietri. Jason Breyfogle with the 3rd, with Mark Wilson in 4th. Les Turner in 5th. Mitch Heller with the 6th after a multitude of issues here this evening. Aldo Secklin gets that GT3 win with Tim Saunders in 2nd. Mark Kidrowski will finish in 3rd. And then, just slightly out of order there for our BMW class, was Dwayne McCarthy there. And then rounding out our results, we have Andrew Lunsford in 4th, Troy Sharon, who should be our champion in the class, with the 5th, Zach Kruger in 6th, Terry Dahl in 7th, Bill Pollock in 8th, David Berry in 9th, of course Dennis Griffin rounding out the BMWs, and then Andrew Humphrey and Kevin Kyle will be the finals drivers in the GT3 class. And we're just waiting for Ryan. I know he usually fashionably late, but I'm sure he will be here in just a matter of a few seconds. So just giving him the chance to do that here, as we'll kind of get the back end all set, make sure his car looks all pretty on the screen for his interview. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in here for the Red Sox Racing League for this season. And we'll go ahead and just one more time, since I'm still waiting on these guys to pop in. One more time, we'll just go over the next season of results. Next season of schedule, rather, March 16th. So if you're interested in joining, you have a few weeks to take care of that. So feel free to let the league know. And I do believe we have Ryan Robertson here. All right, Ryan. So I missed one race due to technical issues, and just happened to be the one race you didn't do. So from a PTR TV season, you have the perfect season. So if that means anything to you, but you had a good race, and you had a pretty good battle with Mitch until that kind of lap traffic got you guys messed up there in the technical section. And then again, after that, just a walk in the park and you get a championship out of the deal. Talk about the season and the race, man.
Yeah, this is my best season that I've had. And yeah, last week, it would have been nice to win all 6, but last week, Mitch earned that win last week with the way he was driving, and he was keeping me in check for, the first half of this race. And I just went back and watched what happened. And yeah, that was just a tricky traffic incident trying to get through there. And yeah, benefited from it. But tonight was good. I felt really good at Red Bull Ring. figured out how to get the car around the track quite a bit faster than normal. I was using some of the curbs to hook the car in to kind of counter some of the understeer that this baseline set has in it. And yeah, it just felt good. Car felt, just on rails pretty much the entire night.
It definitely was. I saw you lock up a couple wheels here, but I know that's kind of the name of this car. But
yeah.
So we have a couple weeks break. I know we have the new build. We don't know what's going to happen with that. And then eventually we start off at Sebring in a few weeks' time. Are we going to see you right back to go for the same championship in the same class? You're going to go back and run the GT3s? What's your plans for next season?
I don't think I've decided yet. I mean, I've done the prototypes the past two championships that we've had, so I don't know. I might go revisit the GTs and have some fun in that, but we'll see.
All right, and I'll be ready to watch you when the time comes, man. Any shout outs for your championship?
Yeah, I just want to shout out my team, Satellite Racing. I've been with them for a while, and they keep sponsoring me. Shout out to you for casting, and shout out to Les and Terry for keeping this league going for so long.
All right, sounds good, man. Congrats. We'll talk to you next season.
Thanks. See ya.
And now we have our GT3 class winner, Aldo Sekla. Now, Aldo, I know we haven't seen you since, I think, race 1, and you managed to get that victory there. And, you're 2 for 2 in your Red Sox season. Talk about the race here this evening, man.
Hello, Corey. Yeah, well, actually, it was, I moved from Tampa to Miami, so that's why I couldn't race the other series. But I wanted to race at least this one. It was really fun. I mean, I didn't get to qualify, so I started from behind. So I knew I had to gain as much as possible the first probably 3-4 laps, and yeah, just that.
All right, so now that, I don't know if you're fully settled in or if you just wanted to make this specific track, but we have about 3 weeks, I think, until the spring series starts off at Sebring. Are we looking forward to having you for a full season, or is it just kind of be, whenever you have the time to?
No, for sure. Yeah, I saw the schedule that you posted at the beginning of the live transmission. So yeah, for sure. I like those tracks, so I'll be there.
All right, I'm sure Troy, who was our class champion, he'll look forward to having you for a full battle, so that'll be fun to see. Any shout-outs, thanks you want to offer for your victory tonight?
Well, actually, the Red Sox league is a great place to race, so I hope now next season we can get more drivers and just that. And thanks also you, Corey, for the transmission.
All right, not a problem, my friend. Hope everything is settled with the move, and we'll catch you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that is our class winner tonight and our GTP champion, Ryan Robertson. So again, shout out to everybody involved with tonight's broadcast, everybody for putting on a good season, a good race. And if you enjoyed, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And stay tuned. We have a lot of content coming up. We'll be live tomorrow night with the 100% Cup Series. We'll be having some NASCAR content on the channel, both tomorrow night and on Monday night. And then we'll have a little hiatus, and we'll be back in a few weeks with the Red Sox Racing League. So I want to thank out everybody for tuning in. Thanks SimTV for the help with the assets for the broadcast. And that's Corey signing out. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.